was a young girl, scarcely 16. Thanks to my parents, lots of places I've seen, but never a place that I love as well as my Burgeo home 'neath the maiden tea hill. My Burgeo home, that heaven of mine, the home of my parents, so loving and kind. I love them so, and I always will. And my Burgeo home 'neath the maiden tea hill. The harbor's so pretty in the morning sunshine, as the seabirds and robins their sweet notes entwine. The fishing boats shine in the water so still, here in my home 'neath the maiden tea hill. When I had trouble or if I was sad, I always found comfort from good friends I had. They knew that I loved them and I always will. And my Burgeo home 'neath the maiden tea hill. My Burgeo home, that heaven of mine, the home of my parents, so loving and kind. I love them so, and I always will. And my Burgeo home 'neath the maiden tea hill. With her fishery failing, I may have to roam. Dear God, how I'd hate to leave my dear home, but each night in memory, sure I'll see it still. My Burgeo home 'neath the maiden tea hill. My Burgeo home, that heaven of mine, the home of my parents.
Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. I'm Trudy Burton.
And I'm Georgette Hand. Tonight's stories include:
Council are correcting a water problem.
we visited the Burgeo Haven,
We also visited Gilletts Motel.
it's squid jigging time,
And more, so please stay tuned.
Imagine a recreational trail shared by all Canadians, winding its way through every province and territory. The Trans-Canada Trail, to be the world's longest trail. You can make this happen. Each donation you give makes a meter of trail. And in recognition, your name or the names of your family and friends will be permanently imprinted on trail markers. Join the thousands of Canadians and the companies who care. Share the vision. Be part of the Trans-Canada Trail. Call now and put your name on it.
Workers with the Town Council have been working to alleviate the water build-up problem on Harbour View Crescent.
Council workers have been busy working near our office this past week, cleaning out culverts that run across Newfoundland Telephone's parking lot in an effort to alleviate the water build-up problem that occurs on Harbour View Crescent. Town worker Clayton Meade explained what they were doing. correct the water problem there.
Yeah, hopefully when we're finished. We got to work off the main road too, because that's all plugged up down there. The water's so deep. We got to tear up all the pavement, all the chemical drag, the gutter, repair the main road. We got to tear up the 3 times more what we would if we went just put another one across the road over here and went up over by my van, eh? So we decided they would go across the road. Another road paved.
What are you doing? Running the water through to force the dirt out of it?
Yeah, over the gate. Forcing the fan. I'm going to carry this way around. They all go back and forth, eh?
Okay.
One,
So all these cans things there, they all come out of that?
all the sand will do there, they're off the out. I can't let the car come out, then everybody go here down the road.
Some renovations have been carried out at the primary entrance of A.J. Matthews School.
When the schools in Burgeo were constructed, little thought was given to making them wheelchair accessible. At the elementary school, work has been done to correct this problem. A few years ago, a lift was installed in one of the stairwells to make access from the first floor to the second possible. This past week, a cement ramp was constructed to the primary entrance of the school, which makes the building easily accessible to wheelchairs.
Just a reminder here that in about 52 minutes from now, 2:30 this afternoon, the Royale reenactors will be doing their thing. Another performance at Castle Hill Historic Park in Placentia. The year.
Student placement worker Michelle Ball came by our office to draw for a free day's labor.
Michelle, I understand that you're going to do a draw today for businesses. Can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about this draw?
Well, it's about employers who hire a student for half a day to a day, and that they get their name put in a bag, and whoever's picked gets me for 3 days' labor.
Okay, did you have much response from the businesses in this?
Not a whole lot, no.
Okay, so you want me to draw the name
Yes,
for you?
please.
Okay, the winner of the 3 days' labor from Michelle is Seaside Mini Mart. So perhaps Michelle will drop by with a camera when you go out to Seaside and see what you're going to be doing out there.
Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
It's easy to find the most common hangout in Burgeo when the squid's hurrying, as people from Burgeo, as well as the people from the Bay St. George area, gathered on the squid jigging grounds.
This is Hank Snow. I proudly dedicate this song to all you wonderful fishermen that I sailed with many years ago. On the Quiro banks, on the western banks, and on the Grand banks of Newfoundland. Squid jigging ground. Oh, this is the place where the fishermen gather in oilskins and boots and the K-bands battened down. All sizes of figures with squid lines and jiggers, they congregate here on the squid jigging ground. Some are working their jiggers while others are yarning. There's some standing up and there's more lying down. While all kinds of fun jokes and tricks are begun as they wait for the squid on the squid jigging ground. There's men of all ages and boys in the bargain. There's old Billy Cave and there's young Raymond Brown. There's a red Brandon Tory out here in the dory, running down squires on the Squid Jigging ground. There's men from the harbor, there's men from the Tickle, in all kinds of motorboats, green, gray, and brown. Right yonder is Bobby, and with him is Nobby. He's chawing hardtack on the Squid Jigging ground. God bless my sou'wester, there's Skipper John Chiappy. He's the best hand at squid jigging, here I'll be bound. Hello, what's the row? Why, he's jigging one now, the very first squid on the Squid Jigging ground. The man with the whisker is old Jacob Steele. He's getting well up, but he's still pretty sound. While Uncle Bob Hawkins wears 6 pair of stockings whenever he's out on the Squid Jigging ground. Holy smoke, what a scuffle, all hands are excited. It's a wonder to me that there's nobody drowned. There's a bustle, confusion, a wonderful hustle. They're all jigging squid on the Squid Jigging ground. Says Bobby, the squids are on top of the water. I just got me jiggers about 1 fathom down. But a squid in the boat squirted right down his throat, and he's swearing like mad on the Squid Jigging ground. There's poor Uncle Billy, his whiskers are spattered with spots of the squid juice that's flying around. One poor little boy got it right in the eye, but they don't give a darn on the Squid Jigging ground. Now if ever you feel inclined to go squid, then leave your white collars behind in the town. And if you get cranky without your silk hanky, you'd better steer clear of the Squid Jigging ground.
There's more of This Week in Review coming up, so please stay tuned.
Welcome to Label Smart, our nutrition labeling quiz. With us today from Montreal, Valerie and Stephanie.
Hi. Hi, it's Steph. Just Steph.
First question, do you know...
No. Today we ask the questions, sir.
Yeah! Go ahead. Try your buzzer.
Onk.
What's the difference between a very high source, a high source, and a source of calcium, eh?
A very high or excellent source like milk has the most calcium per serving. A high or good source like yogurt has a bit less. And a source like cottage cheese has considerably less.
True or false? 2/3 of the calcium in our diet comes from dairy products.
True. And we should have 2 to 4 servings a day.
Choosing lower fat ones more often. Why not a yogurt?
Sir, can I have your autograph?
The Smart Eater is labeled smart. A message from the National Institute of Nutrition.
We took a look at 2 of the options that tourists staying in our community have.
Georgette and Dave visited the Burgeo Haven on Thursday to see what a stay at the local bed and breakfast is all about.
All right. Not bad. Thanks for agreeing to take us on a tour of your bed and breakfast today.
No problem. I'll be delighted.
Okay, well, where should we start?
Well, okay. Here's our kitchen. Okay, you want to come upstairs first? Just because this is kind of like how we greet our guests. I just invite them on in, and then I show them to their room, and so we'll just pretend that you're Mr. Smith, E.D. Smith. There you go. Okay. All right, Dave. Come on. So Dave, we have a washroom right here. This is kind of a public washroom. And we have a bedroom right here. You can, we don't have any guests in that one, so you can go in and have a look. We have 3 rooms. I got a double and a single bed. And this is one of them. Okay.
And have you seen many visitors here this summer?
This summer's been relatively slow.
Yeah, actually I've heard that it's been slow right across the province,
Yes.
actually.
Well, actually, business is pretty good in the Gross Mourne area. And the Northern Peninsula area is a little bit slow. Portavas is pretty good. Portavas accommodations and stuff is really busy.
I guess that's
But
for
this
the
area,
boats.
yeah, that's right. This area hasn't been developed. If it's not going to be developed, this is the way it's going to
Yeah.
be, you know. Okay? And then we have another bedroom back here. And this room also got a double and a single bed. And then there's another room right here. And this one gives you a little view of the water, which we find a lot of people like. This little room is cozy and comfortable.
So the washroom that you showed us earlier serves these
It's
3 rooms?
Those 3 rooms, yes. And then we have a linen closet right here. This is for our guest use as well. So there they'll find the towels, the sheets, extra pillows and blankets, iron and ironing board, extra toilet tissue and soap. This is all their use, so we don't use any of this for our own personal use at all. And then we have this room in here. This one is, well, I guess probably this is our biggest seller, right? This one's usually one that's sold. Because this one gives you a beautiful view of the water. And honeymooners use it. We have a romantic package that we do out for honeymooners. And whatever. Let's get in there.
So this is your most popular room, is it?
Yes, by all means, yes.
So this room has its own personal
Well,
bathroom, does it?
Yes, this one got full bath. And plus, this is the only room that we have that has a queen size bed. This is the bathroom for this room. This room used to be Spencer Lakes and Margaret's. So it's got a little bit of history. It's a difference in a B&B. B&Bs usually have a history or a story to tell, as is the case with this room, this house actually. And this is just this is my office kind of thing. I am a computer and whatever, so it's an office/closet. And this gives a little view of Richard's Head, and don't look in there too much. And right on down here is our living room. I kind of like this idea too, because you get 2 sets of stairs. You know, you can just go right on in, and then they'll just go right on down in the living room.
So that they can either go on if they like, or they can come down?
Yep, you can go on down the back door, or just come on in this way. This is our living room where we sit. Usually we have a fire lit in the evening, and people just sit around and chat, read, whatever. And then we have another room in here. So this is basically a quiet room, a multi-purpose room, can be used for a small meeting room, private practice room.
I've noticed, Ian, that you've got a lot of Newfoundland crafts.
Yes,
things around them.
yeah, we do display some of our local talent. So there's a few things there belong to Eddie Robinson, and a few things that belong to Dora Mae Rose, and what else have I got things belong to? Perry Young from the craft shop, or Pauline.
So, Ian, what's the largest number of guests you've had here at one time?
Well, we only have 4 rooms, basically, but we've had about 12.
12 at one time.
Yeah, and you're pretty crowded in, you know. Yeah. But last year in August month, we had 168, which was really good. That was a lot of guests, right? You know, considering that was our first year. Like, we haven't been open that 2 years yet. And plus, we have a large patio out here. This is for our guest use as well.
It's got a nice view of the ocean as well.
Yeah. Our picnic table's down, getting ready to be painted because you just can't paint it outside because it's always too wet, right?
Yeah.
And we have a barbecue machine that we just use. And then they have, of course, they have the backyard. They have the full swing of the house, you know. Wind's blowing on the chair, so I gotta lift it now.
So have you caught many lobsters down in the corner?
Yes, catch them all the time. Don't tell the Paul now. And this is our dining room. This is where our guests are served, and we serve other meals. We don't just serve breakfast. We serve lunch and we serve dinner. And it's usually on request. It's always on request for the evening meal. And we always serve our own cooked breakfast, a full cooked breakfast with it. And it's always own cooked cooking, you know. Like none of this French fry bit and stuff like that, right? It's honest, good, honest nutrition done on cooking.
So can they get French fries if they like?
If they like, they certainly can, yes. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. We do, yes, if they want cover some fries and stuff, there's no problem there. And this is used, this is all for guest use as well. Like I keep all my dishes, and well, this is the dishes that we use. Cereal there for the guest use if they want to help themselves with cereals, and salt and sugar in the glasses and everything is there, right? The napkins and whatever. And this section is our section, so this is our own private quarters, so to speak.
Okay.
You know, and then they get the full use of the kitchen if they want to use the kitchen. They always get the fridge. There's always a space in the fridge that they can put their things because we get a lot of campers.
Yeah.
Or a lot of bikers or whatever, and usually bring their lunch packs and things like that. And we use the freezer and store their things in.
I've noticed a couple of times this summer there have been tents set up in the yard. I guess that's campers that aerate their tents while they're there.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we haven't had anybody to stay in tents while they're in there, right? It's just that they've either been camping at the park and got rained out and well, brought the tents down and get them dried out and stays for night. And we also offer laundry facilities. So they come down and dry their clothes or wash their clothes, do their laundry. So we offer like a number of things, you know, to guests other than just say a bed and a breakfast. We offer them our house, for one thing, and we give them a home away from home, and you know, which is what they don't have when they're traveling.
So Ian, what made you decide to open up a bed and breakfast here in Burgeo?
Well, can we sit there?
Sure.
As you go, no. Actually, David, well, I think what really started it was, well, I went to school. That's the start of it right there. And I was doing the hotel restaurant management. And during the first year, this is what we talked about, what's available in what places and whatever, you know. And then it just, well, people would say to me, you have to do something about Burgeo, there's no accommodations there. And I used to think, well, yeah, you're right, but I wasn't really sure if I really wanted to start anything here. At that time, I wasn't really sure if after I finished the course, if I would even stay or live, you know. And because with the fishery home, we didn't know if we'd had to be leaving, and at least I'd have something to fall back on, you know, with some trade and sort of. So anyways, this house was vacant, and I thought, well, this would make a perfect B&B, you know. And by this time, I had the confidence enough that I could start it. I had some background knowledge, and I had to start up a business, and you know, human relations, and your bookkeeping, and whatever, right? So I was into that a little bit, and so anyways, then I wrote to Mr. Barry and asked him if we could add this house for B&B. And about a couple of weeks later, he wrote back, or called me actually, and said that he thought it was a good idea. So we opened our doors on August the 24th of '92 to two people from Finland. We weren't even open, and they were inside the yard when we were coming back from lunch, and they wanted a place to stay. So we haven't been back to our own house since. You know, and it's just been, and like we've toured the world, you know, inside of our own house. Like we've had people from everywhere, you know, and it's just been a delight. And you know, right now, like this is the second year, and I wouldn't change it for anything, you know, and it just keeps getting better and better.
So I guess you could say this is one of the few small things that Bill Barry, one of the few good things rather, that Bill Barry has done for Burgeo.
Yes, exactly. Hopefully, because I mean. I don't know if the residents of Burgeo realize the value of a tourist dollar, the multiplier effect, right? I mean, if we don't have places and accommodations for people to stay, there's no reason they're going to come into Burgeo. I mean, you can't just drive 146 kilometers and turn around and go back out, you know. So you really need accommodations. Well, now this year we're fortunate enough that we have a motel as well, right? So that should help to tow people. But we really got to develop the area if we want to get people to come here, you know.
It seems like people have their preference. Some people would prefer a motel, as some people would prefer bed and breakfast.
Absolutely, there's different people. I mean, if you want company, if you don't want to be alone, if you want to find out the history of a place, the history of a community, like we're very knowledgeable. Bill and I are both very knowledgeable in the community of Burgeo and people. You know, like I think between us we know everybody that have lived there, and you know, and if we don't, then we find out somebody who do, and like we've helped people find where their father used to live, or where this grave is, and this kind of stuff. So we're doing all that kind of stuff, you know. So I mean, but people that stays in B&Bs, I mean, that's the kind of things they're looking for.
So I take it you don't regret your decision to open a bed and breakfast?
None whatsoever. Actually, we're opening on expanding, not accommodation-wise, but getting into adventure tourism, maybe doing some canoe trips and getting into canoe rentals, bicycle rentals, and things like that. So that's our project for the winter. So hopefully by next summer, you know, because we find a lot of people, we get a lot of people that like to hike and like the outdoors, right? You know.
Yes.
And so we're kind of, and we keep up to date too. Bill and I, we go to meetings set out by, you know, hospitality, Newfoundland, and whatever, like Super O seminars, and we find out what the trend is, what people want, and you know, so you gotta keep on top of things. Like I just can't serve the same old bacon and eggs every day. Like, you know, you gotta add some extra treat. Like right now, for example, we got baked apple jam, right? So I always serve like Newfoundland foods, a baked apple jam, a partridge berry jam when it's in season, partridge berry pie. I mean, that's what people like to eat.
Well, thanks for letting us come and tour your house today.
Well, you're welcome. Oh, by the way, why don't you and your camera person there come sign our guest book before you leave, because we have a guest book that most everybody signed.
Okay, that'd be great.
All right. Well, okay, Dave, we have our guest book here, which is done with the cover, Welcome to Burgeo Haven. And we started off, well, most of our guests sign, and some do and some don't, so we got quite a collection from everywhere in the world. Actually, our little brochure that we got done is a testimonial of a girl from Adelaide, Australia, Carolyn Jones. So these are our latest ones, so why don't you just sign your name there, if you would, please.
We also took our cameras to Gilletts Motel to have a look at the facilities that this establishment has to offer.
First of all, Mr. Gillette, I'd like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to tour your facilities here. And we're wondering why you decided to open a motel here in Burgeo.
Well, I've been coming down to Burgeo now since, say, for the last 13 years, eh? And I saw the lack of facilities down there. And in 1988, we purchased a piece of property. Right? So then we were trying to find out what we should do with it. And all indications around the town and the talk of the town was that they'd like to have a motel. So we started to look into it in 90, and we finally got the place in 93. So, because there is no other facilities here, you know, up till now, you know, bed and breakfast, but to that, there's only boarding houses, and a lot of people, government people, didn't want to go to these places. So it was a real need for this facility here. So that's, I guess, why we decided this is the business we go into here.
Okay, how many rooms do you have here in the motel?
We have 9 rooms, 9 modern rooms, and they're off with the TVs, telephone service, and all this. And
So are you pleased with the business that you've done here at the motel this summer?
We done a fair. We have to say it was a little bit slow, probably July. But I think a lot of that reason was that because we didn't open until late and we didn't get into the advertising as quickly as we'd like to, or get into the tour guide book and all this. So, and then trying to get some signs up on the high road. The government restrictions this year didn't want to put anything there, so that was our hindrance. But it's coming along. We can see it growing. A lot of people knowing that the facilities are here. For instance, today we had people here from Harvard Race that came out and wanted to go to Burgeo and didn't know what was down there or what facilities was there until they got to Cornwall and went into the Information Center and the Tour Center and found out there was a hotel down there. Hotel, so they're here. In fact, we got 2 carloads here today because of that, So, in other words, if the facility was here in this community, as we have here, they wouldn't be here. It's just, they just told us that's just a few minutes ago. So, that just shows us that we're at least draw people into the community. But then there's the dining room facilities. That's good. That made it really good, So, that place to eat, place to sleep.
What more could you ask for?
That's it, So the business is growing here, so we're hoping that this meet the needs of the people, the travelers and the tourists. We've had it here had some here from Australia, from Australia, So, but once they find out that there's a facility in Burgeo, they come. So that's most of it.
Okay, Mr. Gillett, we'd like to thank you for speaking to us, and now we'll just go and take a look around your facility.
Yeah, fine, go ahead. What you're pleased. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Gilletts Motel has 8 double rooms, each with a private bath and cable TV. This particular room is wheelchair accessible. As you can see, the rooms do not all have the same layout, but they are all equipped the same. There is one exception, however, the honeymoon suite, which, as you probably guessed, has only 1 bed, plus a lot of little extras. Also, there is the galley, the restaurant part of the establishment where the guests can dine during their stay.
This week, as we look back and remember when, we are going to take you back to August of 1988. When on the road again, we're in town to see what the newly formed Virtual Broadcasting Systems Community Channel 10 was all about.
Well, it's definitely maybe a little bit tighter, what Sue was saying. You want it moved back this way?
No, not the far one.
This was just that gravy anyway. Do you want me to move it over though?
Okay, but it's right in, no, it's better, and back to your, okay, and back that way more. So it's in as your left, take it to your left. Okay. Okay, then we have to bring that one back a little bit towards the back wall.
This wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, the delivery yesterday was
Okay.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah. Oh, you're a natural, there's no question.
guess what it is I'm not on a close-up. I'm seeing the other one. See, just have a look here.
Okay. So what is your job here?
I'm the community television program coordinator for Burgeo Broadcasting System. That means I'm responsible for all the programming that goes over the Channel 10. I do the editing, the camera work, the writing, interviewing, anchoring the news, that sort of thing. And I train a team of volunteers to do things like filming. And we don't have too many interviewers. People tend to shy away from that. But there are a lot of people in the community interested in the camera work and the more technical aspects of it. So that really takes away a lot of time from me. We really help out a lot.
Okay, aside from the training of people who do other things, list for me again the things that you do.
Okay. Editing, producing every program that goes on, I produce those. Anchoring the news, interviewing, newspapers.
This show aired in the fall of 1988. Remember when? 1988.
Well, that's it for tonight's program.
Please stay tuned for an episode of Driftwood and Friends.
In case you are wondering where Dave is tonight, well, he's in behind the camera.
On behalf of BBS, I'm Trudy Bird.
And I'm Georgia Hand. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
My Burgeo home